we are now going to finish off this function by talking about the configure method. All right, so we went ahead and created a nice little program that a user enters information. Okay, they then are to click a button, and when that button is clicked, it's going to do the command do stuff. So we go up to do stuff, all right, and it's going to take whatever the user entered, it's going to use the get method and store it as input stuff. But now let's configure the label, and let's make the label actually show what we want it to. So I'm going to type in label 1 dot configure. I'm going to use the configure method here, and that allows us to change any parameters or anything that would go into the label class. Okay, so let's change the text. Remember that we never had any text to begin with. Even if there was text, we can change that through the configure method. So go through here and let's change the text to the variable that we stored, input stuff. So we'll call that input stuff. All right, so once again, when I click the button, I'm about to run it here in a second, but when I click the button, it's going to do all of this. So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to pull this over here, and let's make it a little bigger. Let's see if this works. All right, so let's just say I enter my name, Mr. Danza. Let's click the button, and it worked. Let's see if I change it. Let's say if I write Mrs. Danza, right, and click submit, and it works. It changes the label text. So once again, just to recap what we did here, all right, we have an entry. Okay, that's my entry. We have a button, and we have a label. We started off with nothing in the label. It was blank, and the user just types in whatever they want. When the submit button is clicked, it does a command, does do stuff. And then we go to the do stuff function. So our do stuff function, we take whatever was in there before, right, Mrs. Danza, we take it and we get it, and we store it as a variable, and we call this variable input stuff here. It doesn't have to use the word stuff. These are just names that I picked because they're easy. And then lastly, we took label 1 and we reconfigured it by using the configure method, and we changed the text to it to the variable input stuff, which is whatever is user input. So that's how we would use the configure method.